Hi there Star Wars collectors, and welcome to another Bossk's Bounty video. And in today's video I just kind of wanted to take you through some of the rarest 3.75 inch Star Wars figures that I have in my collection, ones that I've acquired over time, and I just wanted to get your opinion really on what is rare versus what is expensive, because I was having a good conversation with my buddy Only One Kenobi just the other night, and we were talking about the difference between something that is rare versus something that is expensive, because I don't think those things always mar up. So for example, the two mini card revenge cards of Salacious Crumb and the Mouse Droid, I don't necessarily think they're particularly rare. I think there's a lot of them around, but I think they just command quite a high price. People want to keep hold of them, and for that reason that's why they go for a lot of money. But in terms of numbers made, I do think that there is, you know, a fair few of those around. Same with the Jar Jar Binks in Carbonite, which is another one that I don't own. I think that one, there is quite a few of them around and they go for a lot of money, but I'm not sure if it's like ultra rare. So I just wanted to go through some of the figures that I have in my collection today, which I think are pretty rare, I guess, or you may think they're not rare. You might just think that they're expensive on the secondary market. But I've got these three in front of us here just to get us going, and this is what I'm saying. I think these ones are reasonably expensive on the secondary market, but I'm not really sure they're rare. So first up we have the Revenge of the Jedi Boba Fett. So of course this guy is just a variant of VC09, and he is in the colours of the Return of the Jedi Boba Fett there, but on the original card back. And of course instead of Return of the Jedi we have Revenge of the Jedi. Now as I say, I don't think this is necessarily particularly rare, but it is expensive on the secondary market. It goes for quite a bit of money these days, and yeah, I think it's just one of those ones that people want to sort of complete their vintage collection. So that's one I have. Next up we have the foil variant of VC09. So again, let me know in the comments, you know, is the foil variant rarer than the Revenge card, for example? I really do not know, but this is the foil variant. You can see it sort of shining away there. And he is the standard Boba Fett there in his Empire Strikes Back uniform on that card back. And again, just a straight variant of VC09, but the foil version. So that's another one that I have, which I feel is pretty rare in my collection. Next up, we have the Revenge of the Jedi Princess Leia slave outfit. And of course, there is a Return of the Jedi version of this as well. This is the Revenge variant, and again I've been having conversations with people, including John from the Action Figure Grader, about which one we actually think is the rarer of the two. Is it the Revenge card or is it the Return card? Because I've heard conflicting stories. Some people say the Return, some people say the Revenge. I kind of think it's the Revenge, although I do see more of the Revenge come up for sale on eBay, for example. The Return one doesn't seem to come up that often. They're both VC64, of course. But the whenever I do see the Revenge one go, it does go for north of $100, maybe even $150. Certainly in the UK it goes for around 120, 130 pounds. So from that point of view, it's a reasonably expensive figure on card. And yeah, decent one to have in the collection. Okay then, so sticking with the vintage collection, we have two figures here which I class as being rare figures, purely because of the amount that would have been produced of each one. And of course, first off, we have the yakface exclusive figure that came with the barge. So if there was probably maybe, 10,000 barges made, I would imagine. You know, if they account for ones that have been damaged in the post and ones that have been sent back and replaced and things like that, they have to have overstock. And I think probably about 8,800 or something was sold, officially sold. So yeah, I think there's probably maybe 10,000 of these in existence. So to me, that makes this figure quite rare. And of course he is VC000. Be interesting to see what they do with the child in the Razor Crest, what number they give that figure. Maybe it'll be VC001. But yeah, this is one of the nicer pieces of my collection. It's something that I treasure. It was a very difficult time trying to get hold of one with the barge, living in the UK, but yeah, we managed to do it, so that's all good. So let me know in the comments, do you own one of these? Let me know. And next up is something that I acquired very, very recently, and this is probably, in my opinion, the rarest piece in my collection of vintage collection figures, and it is the Canadian Yoda. He is on the Return of the Jedi card, and of course he is using the original image from the original card back from the vintage era. Picture of him there from The Empire Strikes Back, but on a Return of the Jedi card, and of course it is the figure from the Revenge of the Sith. It's just they've put him on that card. I still haven't found out why they did that in Canada, and purely because of the reason, there you can see it's VC20, and purely because of the reason that this was only made in Canada, that makes this pretty rare. And it's one of those ones that just doesn't really seem to come up very often for sale. It took me a very, very long time to track this one down, and I'm very happy that I've, finally managed to get hold of this for my collection. Let me know in the comments below if you have this, and also let me know in the comments below what rare items that you have. I would love to know what items that you have, and I'd also like to know what your opinion is on what makes something rare. Is it just purely the fact that they're really, really expensive on the secondary market, such as the mouse droid and the salacious crumb? They're my figures from the vintage collection. We're going to move on to a few others in my collection from 3.75 inch figures, which I think are rare these days, and let's move on. Alright, so next up we have the comic packs from the Legacy collection, and in my opinion this is probably one of the more rarer of the 2-pack comic sets that you got here. So they came with a comic book and 2 figures. There's just an example of some of the others that you could get. Really, really cool. And this one is the one with the Clone Trooper and the Clone Commander, and the reason this is so rare or so sought after is because that figure there, the Clone Commander, is exclusive to this set. So just him alone, loose, is very, very expensive. So I'm very happy to have this carded. I was extremely lucky to get it at the price I did. And yeah, let me know in the comments if you think this is rare. I personally think this is one of the more rarer items in my collection, and it helps that it's actually really, really cool as well. 2 amazing clone figures there. Pretty damn awesome. Next up, I'm going to move on to a couple of Legacy collection figures, the single carded figures that I have in my collection that I believe to be, reasonably rare, or at least pretty much sought after on the secondary market. And the first one is the Herchek Calfas figure from the Cantina. I think that the Legacy collection figures in general are becoming pretty sought after, and some of them are very rare. You've only got to think of figures like the Nikto Gunner and Jiran and how much money they command on the secondary market. But I think that the Herchek Calfas figure is up there with those 2. I very rarely see this figure go for less than maybe £70, which is what, $85, something like that. So that would possibly make this rare. Maybe it was short packed at the time, I do not know. But as I say, the Legacy collection figures in general seem to be, going up in value. This one's another one, the Lisub Serlin. I don't have her. I wish I did, from the Cantina. She's another one that goes for a fair amount of money on the secondary market. So again, let me know, does that make them rare? Next up, we have a figure which I do believe was a sort of fan vote, and it is the Wilro Hood figure from The Empire Strikes Back. He's the guy that's running through with the ice cream maker. Now, I think at the time that this was like a peg warmer. These were like everywhere. You could get these everywhere. But now if you go onto eBay, this guy commands a fair amount of money. So once again, does that make him rare? Is he rare now? What's happened to all of those figures that were peg warming for so long? And why is he so much on the secondary market? This is the sort of conversation that I do love the community and you guys to get involved in. As I said before, let me know in the comment section below what you class as rare and what figures you have in your collections that are rare. I mean, this isn't a video where I'm bragging about what I've got, because there's a lot missing from my collection. I do not have the 2 mini cards from the Revenge of the Jedi line, the Salacious Crumb and the Mouse Droid. I do not have the Jar Jar Binks and Carbonite. So, I do not have every figure going. It's just these are the ones that I consider, in my sort of modest collection that are reasonably rare these days. And finally, a bit of an odd one, we have the Darth Vader prototype edition figure from the Retro collection. And this one at the time was reasonably expensive, just purely because it was a convention exclusive. But then I saw it popping up all over the place for maybe, I don't know, 30, 40 pounds, something like that. But in recent weeks, I've seen this go right up. So again, this seems to be a sought after figure now for this retro collection. Maybe it's because Hasbro have continued with the retro collection and they've, you know, people want this one to complete the collection. Weird figure, isn't it? Weird design, super shiny, very hard to show in the camera. But again, I've seen this go for, you know, north of £80, maybe even £100 now for this figure. And mine's in pretty good nick. Might actually think about getting this one graded. It's on a super tough card. Much better than the actual vintage collection and the retro collection figures themselves. These convention exclusives, they always put them on better cards. But yeah, that's the prototype Darth Vader for the retro collection. And that sort of concludes my video today of some of the rarest 3.75 inch figures that I have in my collection from the modern Hasbro era. So we'll just line some of these up for you again. So we've got the Canadian Yoda there. We've got the exclusive yakface. We have Wilro Hood. We have Herchek Kalfas. We have the comic pack. And we have the three figures that we mentioned at the beginning, which is the Revenge of the Jedi Fett, the Revenge of the Jedi Leia, and of course the foil variant VC09 Fett as well. So there you go then, guys. That is my collection of rarities, I guess. Some of the nicer pieces in my collection. And as I said before, I'd love to know your collections. Let me know in the comment section below what rare figures you have in your collections, and maybe even let me know of a figure that maybe I haven't said in this list that I should really be looking out for. I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Something that I should be after now, because now I do have the Yoda. That was kind of my grail item that I was looking for a very, very long time. So now I've got that, I kind of need a new focus to look out for. So let me know in the comments below. But thank you very much for watching today. And if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to drop a like down below. And thank you very much for watching. And we'll see you on the next one.